Hello, and thank you for joining me in another video. And today we have another video once again on Nebius. We're going to go into the stock price and talk about why we might have had some fluctuations on the stock price towards the end of last week. But then most importantly, we're going to look ahead to the growth of the business. And we've got some really exciting new news that has just come out from Nebius that is regarding its expansion inside of the US, what we know is basically or one of their most important markets. But first of all, before we get into that, if you are new here, my name's Howard. I'm a retail investor just like you, and I've been investing for over 10 years now and recently made this channel just to basically share my research and thoughts when it comes to investing. And if you're not new here, thank you for joining me again in another video. So let's get right into this video. So first of all, we'll start off touching on the stock price. We've actually started today a little bit rocky. We have just had the market open recently, but we have gone green after starting a little bit red. To look at some history of the stock price over the past few days, though, we have once again been the most important thing about the Nebius stock price, or what is moving at the most, is that outside market, and specifically the outside market's opinions and thoughts on AI, the AI growth story. So you can see we did have kind of a nice uptick towards the middle of last week, and we finished actually down quite a lot, down at $87. We've, of course, got the conflict in Iran, which is putting a lot of weight on growth stocks and increasing the price of oil. But what we've also had happen last week, which I think kind of really hurts towards the end, is this news of Oracle and AI scrapping their deal for their huge flagship data center, which Oracle very, very recently, actually this morning, actually came up to refute this. So it looks like this news has basically come out and been squashed straight away. Whether it's completely false, we don't know. But essentially, Oracle have come out and flat out said recent media activity about their new site are false and incorrect. First of all, we're operating in lockstep to deliver one of the world's largest data centers at record-breaking pace. So this report is that they're pulling back and not expanding into that. And then we've had Oracle come back and said, yes, it's going ahead. So take from that what you will. It does seem like the answer might be somewhere in between. This was a huge kind of $500 million investment that was announced last year, and it may be there's some intricacies about that. Maybe they're not launching it as fast as they could be, but who knows. But that of course makes a bit of worry about why aren't they expanding these data centers as quick as possible. This meant Oracle stock was hit, and this also meant other data center stocks were hit, because it basically means, okay, wait, is this AI theory not as strong as we once thought if they're pulling back? But it looks like this is pretty much a nothing burger now. It's already been refuted, and Nebius seems to kind of brush that off a little bit anyway already. But now we're going to get into what's most important, and it's not just these bits of news that just fluctuate the stock price. It's actually looking to what Nebius is doing as a business, and they've just recently announced today a new member of their team, SVP and GM for the Americas, Dan Lawrence. So this is someone new who has been brought on to drive the North American business forward. And this was reported, Nebius did a press release about that, basically saying what he has been recruited for. And it looks like a very exciting hire. He has come on from, if we get the actual quote here as well, where are we? So essentially, he's been brought on as the go-to-market engine across 4 key customer segments: strategic, enterprise, ISV, and AI native, as it continues building out gigawatts of capacity inside the US. So we spoke about before that there are huge data centers being built inside the US at the moment by Nebius. They're running a huge amount of data centers, or a large amount of data centers there already. And it's going to be crucial to them growing their business. We know their core a European business where they started. But the US is, of course, where a huge amount of that AI spend is and is going to be in the future. So it's crucial that we grow this area. Then he came from Vice President and Global Sales for a cloud at Akamai Technologies, where he built the go-to-market model and rapidly scaled its compute business to approach 1 billion in revenue. So he's worked at this company, again, growing the kind of B2B sales to be nearly $1 billion. We'll get on to look at that company in a minute. But also, it's really exciting here. Lawrence held senior leadership roles at Amazon Web Services, managing global enterprise engagements and supporting hyperscale cloud, AI, and next generation infrastructure businesses. So he's got a lot of experience when it comes to AI clouds and scaling those AI clouds from working at AWS. Looks to me that he's worked at AWS, basically the biggest in the game. He's moved on to Akamai, where he actually went in a more senior position to then develop them to become almost a competitor in their own way to Amazon Web Solutions. He's grown that very successfully, and now he's going along to Nebius to hopefully do that even more, because Nebius being an AI native cloud, there is so much growth in that industry, and it looks like he's the guy that can really help execute on that. If you have a quick look at this other company that it's come from, Akamai Solutions, I haven't had too much of a look at it, but introducing Akamai Inference Cloud, turn trained models into high-performance AI that drives revenue. So essentially seems quite similar to what Nebius does in terms of running inference for AI businesses. It's good to hear that he's got a lot of experience in that, and he can be going on to hopefully drive Nebius's business forward. So I thought it would be worth checking in again at the most recent report when it comes to Nebius. We zoom in on their locations, we can see they've got a large amount of locations already inside the United States: Minnesota, Kansas City, Missouri, Oklahoma, Alabama, and New Jersey. 2 of these are new owned sites. They actually own these sites, and 3 of them in total are over 100 megawatts. So it's super important that we've got someone that is going to drive this business forward. We've got someone who is already in the US, who has already worked in the US, and is keen on, or is very knowledgeable about growing these businesses inside the US. So it seems to me, that Nebius are thinking about this strategically and not just trying to run everything from Europe, but they want to get someone specifically in the US who can drive this business forward. He's already done that successfully at previous companies and has the knowledge of working inside AWS as well, which is one of the biggest in the game, if not the biggest in the game when it comes to cloud computing. So again, I think this is really exciting news. We've gone from overall broader market news, which turns out to just be, might even be a nothing burger. That's what moves the stock price, because that is kind of what happens on the day-to-day. But meanwhile, we want to concentrate on the strategic things that are going on inside the business, which can actually mean that we are going to get growth, which is what we've got here. So moving back onto the stock price. What do we think it's going to do in the near term? I don't know, and nobody else does know either. But it certainly looks like we are consolidating around this kind of $90 area. With all the stuff that's going on with oil prices and conflict in Iran, and also some people getting tentative about, is AI going to be a bubble? It's understandable why the stock price is staying kind of around this level. Have to remember with growth stocks, particularly ones that are growing over 100% a year and even more than that when it comes to Nebius, a lot of growth is already priced in. They have very, very high expectations. So if some things start to happen in the market that made people feel a bit wary about the future of the economy, maybe inflation, maybe people not being able to spend as much, or maybe in some cases that maybe AI isn't as transformational, that is going to hit the stock, and it's going to hit growth stocks more than any others. So I personally am not too upset with it being around here. I've been slowly building my position around Nebius. I personally first bought my Nebius shares between $40 and $50 last year. My average is up around $70 at the moment, maybe even slightly more. I'm not rushing into this. I'm happily just acquiring stocks and other stocks over the course of this year. What I've spoken about before is that where we have been, I mean, if we take a look at kind of have a look at the S&P 500. For the past 5 years, we have been on a really, really big run. We had a huge gain over the past year. So if you look at the past year, 18%, and the year before that was very, very strong as well. We can't expect that to always happen. So this year, I'm in no rush to deploy all my capital as quick as possible and just get it all in. I am going to be averaging into stocks, because that way do it. If we do have a really, really generational run once again and a fantastic year, I'm already invested, but I'm also going to be preparing for dips like we have had a lot of this year so far. You've got to remember, if we do stay in this $90 to $100 range, if you're picking off those 90s, you can still be in for a bit of a gain towards the end of the year. I'm not saying that you should always look to do that, but dollar cost averaging, in my personal opinion, is not a bad strategy when we're in this kind of choppy market. It does seem that there's a lot of worry in the market that needs to get calmed. Then we've also had the midterm elections coming towards the end of the year as well, which can also make things very choppy or make the market pretty dead. So That's it for today's video on Nebius. We've got a bit of news that's affecting the stock price, but then also crucially some good news about the business. I'm really excited to see what they're going to continue doing in the US, and I just want to see more big deals signs there because it's so crucial for the growth of the business. And in terms of the macro environment, there's not much we can do about that, but it is going to be affecting growth stocks. Either way, if we have negative news, it will affect them more. If we have positive news, there's going to be a big relief rally as well. So all we have to do, we can't control those things. All we can do is look at the data and look how our companies are performing. And for Nebius, that seems very, very well at the moment. So thank you for joining me in this video. If you're a Nebius investor, please let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And make sure you subscribe if you're interested in this company as well, because I'll be keeping on putting much more videos out about it as well. So apart from that, thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the very next video.